What's up, guys? It is Russo, and today is March 25th. It's Taco Tuesday. We have an 8-game NBA slate, and it's got to get better. Yesterday was awful. Let's take a look, because I want to walk through this. I won't take long, but okay, Vucevic, yeah, just absolutely did not perform the way he has in the past against Denver. Just totally hit a slump here. 12.5 rebounds and assists. He goes for 9. Before that, to start off the night, we get last minute Quentin Grimes just out. So that immediately, I had that play in a ton of slips. So, and it was way past the time for me to cancel any of these slips. So we just got reduced slips across the board. Alex Sarr, this was the real frustrating one. 7.5 rebounds. He'd gone for 11 and 14 in both head-to-heads. He goes for 5. He barely made the 5 too. But then you've got Carrington, who is point guard, shooting guard, who averages 4 rebounds a game, who came down with 11. So I'm like, thanks a lot, bro. You really are just like piling on here. And then Austin Reeves 0.5 us. He ended up, I didn't even take a look at his final attempts, but 18 points isn't a terrible game. We needed one more bucket, so he barely missed. But LeBron being back kind of seemed like Reeves actually had, maybe he cashed his PRA. Looked like he had a decent amount of rebounds and assists. But yeah, I was feeling good about the points, and I'm guessing the volume probably wasn't there like I was anticipating before LeBron was fully good to go. But I do love these plays today. I say that every day because I look for the best plays, but I really do love these. We got Jalen Green, 4.5 rebounds. I'm going to go Toumani, Camara over 17.5 points, rebounds. Dyson Daniels, 23.5 PRA. This seems really low. And then Draymond Green, I love this rebounds and assists. We're getting it at 12 on Prizepicks, and we're getting Draymond at 11.5 on Underdog. Everything else is the same across the board. If you haven't signed up for Underdog yet, and you want to, use my code. It's just JRUSSO. It's just all one word. All the information is down below, but they're going to give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, which is just promo play that you'll be able to use, for any of the things they've got available on the platform. Plus, they're going to give you a free pick to help you cash that first slip, so you can pair that with, any play you want. If you wanted to just quickly try to make just a little bit, like a little 3x with that free pick, or add it into a larger slip, those free picks definitely make a difference because you get the full multiplier on it. So they're going to hook you up with the free pick plus up to $1,000 in a deposit match. Just use code JRUSSO and they will hook you up. And I had Austin Reeves in my streaks play last night. I had Paolo Banchero points. He ended up taking care of business. He went for 30 points, and then I loved that Austin Reeves play, and then he 0.5 me. I'm like, gosh, another streak slip. But I'm going to start a new one today, so if you end up signing up for Underdog, make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I'm going to share my streak slip because I love playing streaks. It's just, if nothing else, for pure entertainment, I usually I'll do like a $5 streak slip, or last night I just put $1 on it because I'm going to keep playing this over and over, and that multiplier stacks up because you can go all the way up to 11 and get 1,000x if you hit all 11, but you're adding one pick a day, and then you cash out whenever you want. So I'm like, okay, sometimes you have to adjust your approach and you have to manage your bankroll wisely. So don't do these things where if you have a bad day, you double your unit size the next day. Like, that stuff is a trap. You do not want to do that. You want to be smart. You want to know when, I'm pretty sure I'm going to dive into the details more. At some point, I'll do a deep dive and I'll hit you guys with the numbers, but I'm pretty sure successful sports bettors and successful DFS players, the guys that are very successful are hitting 55% of the time. That's not no one is out there hitting 75% of the time. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I've read a lot of books on sports betting and just, fantasy prop stuff, and just listening to people who are very educated, breaking down the mathematics behind it and whatnot. And I'm just trying to educate myself on all that, you're looking for 60% of the time, you're hitting 55% of the time. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't go on tilt and start, just trying to make it all back. You have to get it back the same way that you lose it. So multiple losses, you need to slowly build that back. Now, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I just want to make sure, we've got our Discord and sometimes people are in there kind of going on tilt, and it's just like, dude, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to just make sure you're using this for entertainment and having fun with it. But I've said my piece about that. Let's break into the details of these plays. If you guys don't mind, do me a favor, like the video, drop me a comment. You guys know how much it helps out. And it really does. It's like the lifeblood of me keeping the channel going. It's just getting in front of a larger audience, and that's how the algorithm works. So I appreciate it. All right. So I always target Jalen Green rebounds for home games. He has been on a burner at home. For some reason, he just grabs a ton of boards, and his lines are always low. We're getting this at 4.5. Let me, first of all, in the head-to-head, he's had a great history here. So against Atlanta, playing in Atlanta, this is from last year, but he had 14 rebounds. Most recently, January 28th, playing in Atlanta again, he had 7 rebounds. And then his only other time playing, he had 4. So one more would have cashed it for a perfect head-to-head. But this is pretty significant here. 14, that's almost 3 times what we need him to do. So if we look at his last 5, he's done it 3 out of his last 5. And this game against Denver, this home game, was sort of an outlier in the sense of him not cashing. Let me show you his last 10 games at home. I caught on to this. So this is just his last 10 games in general, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah. So this is his last 10 games in general. He's much better at getting rebounds than the odds makers are setting these lines at, in my opinion. I mean, we've got 7 out of his last 10 games in general. Now, a bunch of these games are home games. He had a long home game stretch here that I was just cashing every single time because they were putting the lines out so low. I was hitting his demon plays. And this was a note that Outlier put on my radar initially. He had 2 back-to-back games at home where it said, it was kind of explaining like he's had a good history of rebounding at home. So I was like, okay, because if we go further out, I think it even goes further than that. I'm pretty sure their trend. Yeah, I think it was something like this. It was like these games here. So it was something like 5 out of his last 8 games. Actually, let me just go to home games. I'll show you guys. Yeah, so this was sort of the little burner that he was on. That's what it was. So we'll go back to last 10. Yeah, if you just look at these, 8 out of his last 10 home games, he's gone for 6 or more rebounds. When I caught the note from Outlier, it was like he had hit these 2 games, and they were telling me he's 4 out of his last 5 games. And I was looking like, he's getting hit in 7 every single game. Like, I'm going to jump on this. And then he cashed me here. And then the next time he was playing Dallas, I'm like, I'm going to take that demon because the demon was set at like 6.5 because we're getting it at 4.5. And then he went for 9. And then it's just like, if you look at this history, yeah, he didn't do it last time he played Denver. He didn't get it done against Sacramento, but 80% hit rate at home, 4.5 rebounds. That's all you need. And then we already know that he's done well. That was a home game way back here in 2023 when he didn't hit, but we already know like he has a good history against Atlanta getting boards. So 4.5 rebounds. I love this play. You could take the points rebounds too if you preferred. It is a soft points matchup for him. And he's gotten it done in back-to-backs here. But to me, the value, this is set up at 27.5 versus just 4.5 boards. So if you want the points attached, you can. Let's look at that for a minute. So he shot 46% in both of these games where he cashed it, and he went for 22 attempts and 24 attempts. Not saying he can't do that again. I'm just like, you know what? If you just look at the rebounds, though, 14 and 7, I mean, even the 7 is almost doubling what we need him to do. As where the points, you're kind of counting on him going for at least 20 points, which he absolutely can. Let's look at the last 5. Yeah, he's been pretty consistent here. Didn't get it done against Miami. He must have had low minutes that game. No, he still had 32 minutes. And what were the attempts? He had 13 attempts. He shot 23%. So to me, it just seems like a safer bet. The rebounds are so low by themselves at just 4.5. So I'm going to be rolling the rebounds because this is a home game. If this wasn't a home game, I wouldn't be doing that. But yeah, the home games have looked great. 8 out of his last 10. Let me see the full PR. We'll go last 10, and we'll go home games because maybe it's the same. 7 out of his last 10. So it's still pretty close. It's just a little bit more of an edge with the rebounds alone. And this was pretty close here against Sacramento back here on March 1st. So you could go with your gut, and I'm taking the rebounds alone at 4.5. If this was set at like 5.5, then maybe I'll go points rebounds. But yeah, if we look at some of his numbers here, he is averaging 21.6 attempts a game. A little bit inflated because we got lately he had games where he went for 25 attempts and 26 attempts. We've got 16 and 19 back here. So you kind of just don't totally know what his output is going to be tonight. Now these are home games that we're looking at, the last 5 home games. Yeah, the minutes, 37 minutes, looking solid. This should be a fun game. Let's look at this over under. I gotta imagine it's probably not super high. It is super high, 235.5. Houston favored by 7.5. And let's look at that injury report real quick. All right, so anyone significant? Trae Young, always a game time decision. He's probable. He's playing. And fully healthy on the Rocket side. This is going to be a fun game. Definitely going to be looking for more pieces in this, but this is just what I'm starting with. Is I always go straight to Jalen Green's rebounds and see what that line's at when he's playing at home. So let's capitalize on it. Maybe I'll end up taking a rebound demon for him again today. I'll let you guys know if I do. So yeah, you guys kind of get it. I don't have to spend too much more time on this. Let's see what Daily Grind thinks. All right, they're not feeling his points over 23.5. They don't like the rebounds. Okay, so go with your gut. 4.5. They've got that favored to the under. 51.67% odds hit the under, minus 126. Everybody's got this slightly favored to the under. 5 seems totally doable to me. 8 out of his last 10. Most of those are 7 rebound games. They do like the points rebounds though. So no, they don't. They don't like the points. They don't like anything attached to his points. It's all. Well, they like the points assists at 26.5. 51.29% odds hit the over, minus 124. Not feeling the rebounds assists, not feeling the rebounds, not feeling the points. So yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Last 2 head-to-heads, he went for 14 and he went for 7, and then in 8 out of his last 10 home games. Now we've got that head-to-head at home. Like, I don't know. You guys don't have to take it. I'm absolutely taking it though. All right, let's keep it rolling. So Toumani Camara, I do like the points rebounds for him. I don't know why it's showing 14.5. That is not what the line is set at. I guess it's because DraftKings, you can get that. So yeah, if we look at the 17.5, he's done this 3 out of his last 5 games. And I like this soft spot for him against Cleveland because he is the soft spot in the matchup. If you look at the matchup, 10th in points allowed, 10th in rebounds allowed. Point guard, kind of tough. Shooting guard, kind of tough. Small forward, little bit above average. And then power forward, bam. 26th in points allowed, 27th in rebounds allowed. The soft spot is his position. You go back to the center, it's like we've got nothing but above average and really tough. And then power forward, it's just boom. Beautiful. And he doesn't really need to do that much to get us over 17.5. Like I said, he's done this 3 out of his last 5 games. And then both of these 2 games, one more bucket or rebound would have cashed it. He would be 5 straight. Coming off this game against Boston, last time he played Boston, he couldn't get anything going, and it was while he was on a heater. So I faded him against Boston, and he ended up showing up, went for 19.7 rebounds, and then got it done against Denver, got it done against Toronto, to be expected. So yeah, I mean, averaging 34.6 minutes, getting plenty of minutes, 53% from the field on 12 attempts. So shooting very efficiently. I mean, all of these games are 50% and higher. Been pretty hot from beyond the arc, 6.4 attempts, 50%, averaging 3.2 made threes a game. Let's look at the head-to-head now. So you can kind of see his minutes weren't where they are now. They were about 10 minutes to 15 minutes less in these 2 games where he missed. This is back in 2023. Only time he matched up against them this year, he went for 19 points and 5 rebounds. Now, did that go to overtime? It did. So that was a totally different, situation. He's not going to probably go for 43 minutes tonight, but they are without Donovan Mitchell. So maybe this is going to be a closer game than you would typically think against Cleveland. And Portland is much better than people realize. Like if they can sneak in to the play-in or the playoffs, they're going to be a problem. Like I would not want to go against Portland in a 7-game series. They're solid in my opinion. So that was in Cleveland too. And that was a really close game, 129 to 133. So yeah, I do wish the attempts were a little bit higher than that 12, but last time he played them, he had 11, and he still shot 64% from the field, and he shot 60% from beyond the arc, which is a little bit above what he's averaging right now. So he got this done against Cleveland too. In Cleveland, made 3 out of 5 threes, and we know he's averaging about 3 3-pointers a game right now. So I'm feeling pretty solid about it. Let's look at this note from Outlier. He's exceeded so this is for 16.5 points, rebounds. Why do they keep changing it on me? Well, I'll still read the note. They're basically saying that over his last 5 games at home, he's averaging 22 points, rebounds. So that's still something we can take as far as the note is still valuable, because we know that he's averaging 22 at home, and this is a home game. So yeah, so they love his 3-pointers over 1.5. Why not? I mean, that does look great. I might throw that into a slip too. 52.54% odds to the over -129. We just got done saying he put up 3 threes last time they played in Cleveland, and he's averaging 3 threes a game over his last 5. So if you want just a little quick hitter, that 1.5 threes does look solid. I get why it's juiced. They like his points assists over 14.5. You could take that. 51.19% odds hit the over -124. They like the points rebounds over 17.5. 51.03% odds hit the over -123. So yeah, looks like they're digging a lot of his points related props. They think the 12.5 is a little high. Although, man, Pinnacle has that heavily juiced to the under on the points alone. But that's the thing, is if he for some reason is not hot from beyond the arc on just 12 attempts a game, I could see that being a little bit tough. That means he needs to shoot 50% again if he shoots 12 shots and doesn't hit any threes. So yeah, go with your gut, but I want those rebounds attached because he's capable of getting you like 6-7 boards. Like he had 5 in that last one, and then yeah, again, soft spot on the matchup. Let's keep it rolling here. All right, Dyson Daniels. So in this same game against Houston, this is the head-to-head. He had a pretty solid outing last time they played. Went for 28 PRA. We're getting this at 23.5 on Prizepicks, and I think, did we get it on Underdog at that line? Yeah, so 23.5. A lot of these other platforms have bumped this to 24.5. Like that's what the line opened at. So we're getting a little bit cheaper on Prizepicks. 23.5 is right within that vein that I'm comfortable taking. He hasn't been shooting the ball that much in his past against them, but were these other games with the Pelicans? They were. So this is a different situation. We know that he's really broke out, probably the best defender in the league. I mean, honestly, he probably is right now. And we weren't really seeing big signs of that with the Pelicans. They trade him away, and Atlanta's like, jackpot. We've got this elite defender now who is pretty solid offensively too, can do a little bit of everything. But yeah, he only shot 33% in that game against Houston last time they played on 12 attempts, and he still cashed his PRA. Now, 10 rebounds. I'm not like expecting him to do that again tonight, but he is one of those guards that tends to get in there and be in the action and gets quite a bit of defensive boards. He had 6 assists, 12 points. If we look at his last 5, he's done this in 3 out of his last 5. He didn't do it against Philly. I don't know that he was needed that much. Yeah, 132 to 119. He didn't shoot good though. I mean, 33%. He only took 12 shots. He's averaging 11. So this line at 23.5, not too bad. Averaging 10.8 rebound chances, 10.4 potential assists. If you end up seeing his fantasy score out there later, sure, I don't mind that at all, because it's Dyson Daniels. I mean, look at this. Blocks and steals. He had 5 against Philly, 3 against Golden State, 4 against Charlotte, 5 against Brooklyn, like 3 or more. And like he's an absolute monster. So I would not mind having the fantasy score too, but it's not available right now. But I'm happy with the PRA at 23.5. At 24.5, I'd probably still take it, but I'd be like, okay, at 25, I'm out. But yeah, 23.5, I'm absolutely jumping on it. So let's check daily grind. See if they agree with me here. Okay, so it got bumped to 24.5, and they're not feeling the 24.5. Hopefully it gets bumped back down. 53.56% odds to hit the under -135. They like his rebounds. If you guys want some pivots, they like his rebounds over 5.5. They like his points over 13.5. Points, rebounds, 19.5. That doesn't seem bad at all. They like his rebounds and assists. So literally, I mean, like I said, I would have still taken this at 24.5. Let's look at it just a little bit closer. Let's look at the full PRA. So he's still, the numbers are very similar. He's exceeded it in 3 out of his last 5 games at the 24.5. In the head-to-head, he still got it done last time they played. And that's with him shooting, what did we say? 33%. So if you think he can do a little bit better than that tonight, I mean, I still think the 24.5 looks good personally. But I get it because Daily Grind, the optimizer is just saying, hey, this is like a full point more expensive on this platform than it is on other platforms. That's what it's doing, is it's comparing across other platforms for you. So maybe just points, rebounds, though, if you want to be a little bit safer. So to the shooting guard position, 13th in points allowed, 21st in rebounds allowed. It is a little bit tighter on assists. He still popped off for 6 in that last game, but how's he been doing on the assists lately? So these 3 games where he hit, he had 6 assists. This game he had 5. And then that most recent outing where he didn't really need to do much. The minutes were still there, though. He just wasn't very active. He's still averaging, I mean, he only had 6 potential assists in that game, but he's averaging 10.4 potential assists. So I really don't mind the PRA at 24.5. But yeah, if you want to just take that PR, it is a 5-point bump now for the assists attached. So 19.5 PR does, like, I don't hate it at all. And just maybe points alone, they like him to go over 13.5 points and 5.5 rebounds. So, all right, let's keep it rolling here. Draymond. Okay. So, I love these rebounds and assists tonight. I was looking at his assists alone because for a minute there, Underdog wasn't giving me the rebounds and assists. But let's go to the rebounds and assists. So we got this revenge game. Jimmy Butler finally playing Miami. I think that would be a bummer if he was ruled out. No, Steph Curry, game time decision, still listed as questionable. And then Duncan Robinson questionable, and Jovic still out. So Draymond's done this in 3 straight games. Let's zoom out a little bit. 6 out of his last 10, but the dude pops off against Miami, regardless of what year it is. Let's see. We'll look at this note and then we'll get into it. So this is a different note. So the 11.5 rebounds and assists that we're getting on Underdog now, he's done that in 8 straight games on the road. So he's averaging 15.5 rebounds and assists on the road over his last 8 games, 100% hit rate, looking solid. And let's talk about the head-to-head. This is what I'm really excited about. So this is last year, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. So he went for 17. And then this is this year, before Jimmy Butler, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. The matchup is soft, 22nd in rebounds allowed, 15th in assists allowed. If we jump over to the power forward position, 25th in rebounds allowed, 15th in assists allowed. So this is just a beautiful history here. His lowest game was 17. We're getting it at 11.5 or 12. I would take this at 12.5 personally. This is solid. 2 very different scenarios, and it's just the matchup tends to favor him. Like we said, 6 out of his last 10, 8 straight games on the road. So, I mean, yeah, give me the rebounds and assists for Draymond tonight, just for fun. So, okay, 58% on the season. He's got this done. If Steph is out, let's see what that might look like. Okay, so without Steph Curry, 57% hit rate, 4 out of his last 7. Now let's do only games with Jimmy. This is why I love Outlier. So 58% hit rate with Jimmy. Now let's go away games with Jimmy. And so that's 7 straight games. And then he's pretty close here. His worst game was 8. But yeah, we've got an 11 here. We've got a 10 here. So yeah, we all remember when Draymond just started getting really hot, and he really hasn't disappointed. I mean, like, yeah, if you have a couple games where you're a little bit lower than the PRA that he's been cashing regularly, if you have a couple of games where you're not hitting it as much, but I mean, like, he's been very reliable lately. So I just want the rebounds and assists. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy is kind of going nuts tonight, especially if Steph is out. I think this could be, man, and they're playing in Miami. Yeah, it's very tempting for me to take a Jimmy Butler play, but I'm just like, I need to take my time with that, because this can go either way. It can go that Miami gets the last laugh. It can be that Jimmy, who's been playing kind of out of his mind lately, goes in. It could also be that he goes in there and he feels a lot of pressure and he wants to have a good game so bad that he kind of just doesn't pop off the way you would want him to, or maybe they're heavily guarding him because they don't want him to just have his moment, you know. So I feel comfortable Draymond will have to be a part of what's going on. So the outlier has us at a minus 130 at 11.5. Let's see. Draymond, what do you got for me? Optimizer. They like his PRA. They do like the rebounds and assists over 12. So the 11.5s are in the minus 130s, minus 145. Is that Underdog? No, it's a different platform. Yeah, they like the PRA. They're not feeling the rebounds at 6.5. They're not feeling the... So how does that make sense? They don't think he's going to go over 6.5 rebounds. They don't think he's going to go over 5.5 assists. But if you do the math, that comes out to 12. But they like these together. And I mean, I'm just kind of being like stupid right now, because I know that they're just saying compared to what other platforms are doing. But I love this DFS optimizer. Let's see what else looks good here for you guys before we get out of here. So this Chet Holmgren points rebounds, they absolutely love. 54.94% odds to hit the over. Minus 143. It's at 22.5 on Prizepicks. It's at 23.5 on just about every other platform, and still favored to go over the 23.5. That's the kind of stuff the optimizer will just be like, hey, by the way, check this out. It's going to be gone in 10 minutes. Like, you got to get this thing. It is super dope. Mikal Bridges over 4.5 assists. They love that. Cade Cunningham blocks and steals. They love it. And you guys can obviously pause this and just look at some of these that I'm not covering. Josh Green points rebounds over 8.5, minus 135, 53.45% odds hit the over. Everybody's got it juiced. So the optimizer, the way it works, and I'll wrap up here because I don't want to take forever. My videos, I know they're longer. But it will, like, let's say this Mikal Bridges, 4.5 assists. If you've got a bunch of platforms that are all favoring it heavily over, the reason it's telling you go grab this play on Prizepicks is because these other platforms with these odds are not giving you the full payout. That's the whole point, is minus 150. You're not going to get like a full payout for taking that on these other platforms because they think it's likely to go over. So if you have a consensus among all these platforms that are favoring something heavily to go over, but you're getting it at the full multiplier on Prizepicks, that's what the optimizer is here for. So it's saying, dude, go get this 53.87% odds hit the over, minus 136, or like this Holmgren. They're like, you know, they change the color, like, bro, 54.94, jump on it. And these don't last long. That's why having the optimizer yourself will help you be able to jump on these plays. We've seen some plays last year with baseball in our Discord. Some were so good that the optimizer caught that Prizepicks wouldn't let us, like, we locked it in, we had our slips done, and Prizepicks refunded us and said, you're not allowed to take that play. Like, so those were like minus 300s that we were getting from the optimizer, and they were not goblins. Like, they won't let you go that crazy, but that's what this thing does, is it finds those because it's just crunching numbers and it's using AI and saying like, hey, we're going to look at all these platforms at once. And we're going to find where there's some discrepancies. You can see the show line discrepancies here. It's dope. If you guys want to try it out, you can use my code JRUSSO. It's just all one word. All that information down below at dgfantasy.com. You get 25% off of this tool or any of their other tools. They have an AI slip generator that builds slips out for you. You literally just press a button and then it locks it in for you. And it'll go like the slip generator when it uses the AI to, like, it's looking beyond just one sport too. So you'll see AI slips that are CS2 and basketball and one baseball prop. It's like, hey, all these look great, lock it in. And then you press a button and you got your slip. So yeah, but the optimizer is dope too. So 25% off any of those tools, dgfantasy.com, code JRUSSO. And then, yeah, Outlier, you can try this one out for free. I have so much fun with this one. This is my favorite app. Like the optimizer, I don't know, like I love both of these apps. The optimizer is insanely impressive with the way it works, but I tend to like being able to take my time and look at all the numbers myself and see the visuals of like, okay, home games, well, this player's out, that player's out, like stuff like that. So I love them both, but you can try this one out for free. Just sign up through the link below. You don't need to put a code in, and Outlier's going to hook you up with a week. Like, hey, see for yourself, and let us know what you think. And, you know, if you decide to keep subscribing, great, but they just want you to see what they've got here. That's how confident they are. So, yeah, but have some fun with it, get to know it. But guys, that's going to do it. Let's get in the green here. This has been a bumpy ride over the last like week or so. And it's just that kind of like that part of the season. I'm like sitting here looking this morning and I'm like, what happened to the NBA? That like something happened with that Grimes situation yesterday, where today I was just like, we live in a world where you just, there might not be anything going on, and it's like guys are just out tonight last minute. Like it's not the NBA that it used to be, but it's still fun, so we keep playing. But I would love to see them find some way to improve that. And we got baseball around the corner, and WNBA. WNBA is not as bad as NBA on last minute like DMPs. And WNBA is a lot of fun too. So we'll be getting into all that through the summer, and then we got football in the fall. So I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for tuning into my show. Don't forget to like the video on your way out, and hit me up if you have any questions about anything. I will hop on, do some research as quickly as I can. I got a newborn, so I can't always just respond immediately, but I will always try to get back to you guys. I'll look up plays for you and tell you, what their head-to-head was, what their last 5 was, and you guys always find a lot of solid plays. You guys have often posted comments, and I'm like, that is a solid play. I'm going to put it in my slip, and so I appreciate the back and forth there. So have a blessed day, guys. I will catch you in the next one.